Recording in progress.
Hello. Long time no see. It's me. I'm back. Human design. I don't even know what to do anymore. It's been so long. I forgot how to do a live. Somebody come on. Somebody come comment and tell me what I'm doing. Welcome. I just started the live. If you are here, can you please let me know if the audio sounds okay? Because I'm not using a mic on TikTok, and I am using a mic on YouTube, and I need to make sure that I'm not on mute. Okay. Yeah, it's good. Hi, welcome. So glad you're here. It's me, Tangi, the Feel Good expert. So welcome back to another live human design Q&A. My name is Tangi, Feel Good expert, and I come live on TikTok as often as I can, which is not very often lately, to answer any questions that you may have about the human design system. If you have no idea what human design is a synthesis of 4 ancient systems. We are using Western astrology. You see that in these glyphs here, if you're watching on TikTok. We are using mystical Kabbalah. You'll see that in all of these little lines and paths that show up in the body graph. We use the Chinese I Ching. That's where all these numbers come from. And we also use the Hindu Brahmin chakra system. And you can see that in all of these shapes that are in the body graph. So when you mush all of that together and you combine it with someone's birth date, exact time, and location, you get this strategic map of their energy. What do you do with it? It helps you make decisions that are correct for you, and it helps you manage your energy really, really well. And there's so much more that we can do with the human design system. So it is very complicated, and that is why I come live to answer questions about it. It's what I wish I had when I was getting started learning human design 7 years ago. So feel free to ask me anything. The only thing that I ask in return, if I answer your question or take a look at your chart, is engage. Okay, tap the screen, comment, like, share, all of those things. Okay, my audio is good on TikTok and on YouTube, so we're rolling. Great. You guys, I don't know if you've seen my videos lately, but I'm leaving the country. Actually, someone asked me to speak on how I used human design to make that decision, and I can, and I mean to. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Hi, Isabella. Ego projector. Ooh, that's interesting. Welcome. Glad you're here. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to remember my little spiel that I always say when I go live. It's been too long. It's been so long. It's been so busy. It's been so busy here. Working, launching things. My kids left for Portugal on April 27th. So it's been a couple weeks. And now I am packing up to leave. I'm going to start in Mexico with my friend. We're going to spend a month there. Yeah, I dyed my hair. Thanks for noticing. It's a new season. It's a new season. I know it's been so long. Thank you for coming back. Thanks for joining my live. Yeah, I was sitting here. What was I doing? Talking to ChatGPT, as I do. As I do, my best friend. And I was like, I could go on a walk or I could go live. And I was like, let's go live. Let's have a yap sesh. Let's chat. Let's talk. Let's reconnect. I feel like I literally miss giving readings. My hair suits me. Thank you. It's my natural color. So I just kind of brought it back. But I miss giving human design readings. I actually haven't given a reading in so long because I kind of leveled myself up into more of a CEO mindset. So creating all of these different pieces within my business and all of these different systems and strategies that I kind of pulled myself away from one-on-one interactions with clients and here on socials, and got really deep into all of the background stuff, which is really exciting for me. I love it, but I miss giving readings. I miss just looking at a chart and saying all the things, So I'll have to do something about that. I don't know what. I've seen others on TikTok Live, like, offer readings live and, like, take payments and all kinds of stuff, and, like, they set up their whole screen to where, like, you can see them, and then there's, like, a box where you can see the chart that they're looking at. I don't know how to do all that. I don't know if I want to. Like, I just like to read charts on the fly and answer questions on the fly. It's me, very splenic. That's me. This is my chart. Very splenic, very just like, what do I feel like doing today? Sounds so complicated. Hi, Harold. Long time no see. One of my friends is going to an event, I think near where you guys are. She invited me, but it's like a very family friendly thing. And my kids are out of town. So I was like, and I got to pack. I got to pack up this whole 3-bedroom house. And I was telling my friend yesterday who's going to Mexico with me, I was like, I feel like I'm doing good. Like I'm, creating measured progress. I'm doing something every day to like move toward this goal of completely moving out. And but I don't want to get complacent. I don't want to be like, oh, that's good enough for today. Time to chill. Because I know I'll get to the last minute and be like, oh my God, this is so much more than I thought it was. I have so much more stuff than I thought I had. This is going to take so much more time and energy than I thought it was. Yeah, I know. I got a lot of infinity in this live. Infinite you, infinity life readings, infinite possibilities. What's the message from the universe today about that? Where can we tap into our infinite abundance and potential? Mayan Day Out of Time celebration. I don't know if I'll be here. I have to come back. I don't have to come back. I may come back in June because my kids are coming into town for an event. But I also may just ask to like fly them to me in Mexico. But I'm not sure if I'll stay in Mexico long term. People ask me a lot, like, where are you going to go? Where are you going to settle? And I'm like, I literally have to put my physical body in the city and like look around before I make that kind of decision. That's a big decision. So I've been to like a lot of cities in Mexico actually, but most of them are coastal and I'm not like a super coastal gal. I'm caves environment. So I want to go to Mexico City. I am going to Mexico City at the end of this month. And I also want to check out a city called Merida. Melanie says she can't wait to follow along. My tripod is blocking my comments on YouTube, so I had to like go look underneath it. Maybe if I move it up a little bit. Yeah. We are all infinite. I know. I agree with that. I don't talk about my own like spiritual beliefs often because to me that is separate and different than the human design system itself, which is what I teach. But yeah, I got my own way of looking at things, as we all do. I actually need to record my podcast. If you guys haven't listened yet, I have a podcast and I have weekly episodes on the transits. We transit through the human design calendar, the Brave Mandala, so the human design wheel. And tomorrow we're moving into the channel of structuring. So it's a good time to use your energy to explain things, to explain yourself. Podcast is so very helpful. Melanie says the podcast is helpful. Yeah, it's good for learning the gates, especially because I'm talking about 2 gates at a time and the gates that are opposite each other on the Rave Mandala, and the gate that is currently transiting the sun placement, and then the earth placement would be opposite that. And so it gives you an opportunity to like learn little by little, but also learn as that energy is directly affecting you because it is transiting in the sun. So all of our different placements here, all of the glyphs will transit throughout the year and years, but the gates are easy to track and learn about little by little because the sun switches gates every 6 days. The moon is harder, right? Because it's like every few hours moving into a different gate. I know I got a lot of Scorpio on my chart. Yeah, I think I got 3 placements in Scorpio. I have a lot of Capricorn, is what I have the most of in my chart. I'm a little mountain goat. Yeah, Melanie says she's learning little by little. Yeah, good place to go and like listen to me yap everything I know about each particular gate. And then this week will be about the channel of structuring because the 2 gates that we have active in the sun and earth actually create a channel when they transit. So it's gate 43, which is in the ajna, and gate 23, which is in the throat. And when they're both activated, that channel connects the ajna to the throat and creates definition in both the ajna and the throat, and this energy to express out why you're so weird. What's different about you? To structure a brand new idea, like something that feels like it's never been thought of before, something very non-mainstream. So it'll be interesting to see this coming week that energy play out. I've got that 20. Yeah, a lot of people have that channel natally because of the structure of the mandala and because of its opposite on the wheel. So if you have one of them activated, it's likely that you're going to have the other, just depending on your chart. I only have 43 and I have it unconscious. So, and not in sun or earth. So it's not going to activate. But if you have either of those gates in sun and earth on personality or design side, you'll get the whole channel. I'm like, is this not the right time of day to go live? I'm so random. I just kind of like show up when I feel like it. But we only have 4 viewers, guys. I need energy. I need engagement. I need to see all those likes. When you engage, TikTok pushes me more to the FYP and more people watch the live. Plus, like, ask questions. There it is. I saw one little heart. The right people will show up. I know. They always do, don't they? Funny how the universe works and puts things and people in your path. I've been talking a lot about social media lately. We just launched, or we, the people who joined with me, but I just launched a 30-day visibility accelerator on how to use human design in combination with social media to grow your visibility or become consistent on socials. And we met yesterday and that was super, super fun. So you'll be seeing more of me on all of the platforms because I'm in the challenge myself. But we're starting the first day of Gemini season because I thought it was really important to take advantage of that energy. Almost all of our throat gates are Gemini gates. What's the 44 and 26? It's called the channel of surrender. So it colors in the ego center and the spleen center. It's tribal circuitry. So it's really about being someone who's good at like crafting a message to keep everybody close to you, keep your tribe, keep, your foundational relationships safe and knowing what they need before they know that they need it. So we also sometimes call it the master marketing channel because you're really good at marketing if you know what your audience needs before they do and you can articulate it well. So it gives you willpower and motivation to understand and articulate patterns of behavior in a tribal way, right? Being able to recognize patterns and behavior of groups. I used to wish I had that channel because like I was telling my mentor, I guess, for lack of a better word, I don't know what to call her, but someone is helping me optimize my funnels. And she was like, I don't hear what you're offering in your copy But when you show me what you're doing, it's like so much more than what you said. And I was like, it's my Achilles heel, ma'am. I can recognize the patterns and I'm very like logistical and logical. But for me to like articulate it to you, that's a difficult thing. And that's why I partner with people to help me do that. Instead of thinking something's wrong with me, right? Or trying to go at it alone. Just go, if you're good at it, you help me. If that's your natural energy, sure, let me jump on that train. Thank you for the likes. I think I have channel of exploration 1034. Um, does this chart tell us who we're supposed to be? You are already who you're supposed to be. This chart just gives you validation and permission to express that out naturally. Um, yeah, you are already who you're supposed to be. This chart will tell you all the ways that you try to like trip yourself up or the ways that other people will sabotage you and not let you be who you're supposed to be. But like when I do a reading for someone and I say like this is how all of this lines up and this is how it works out, they're like, oh my God, that's the way I always felt, but I didn't have words for it. I always knew that that felt more aligned, that that felt correct for me, but everybody told me to be something else, right? My parents, my relationships, whatever. I'm going to come back to the channel of exploration, but yeah, so human design is a synthesis of four ancient systems. We mush all of that together with your birth date, time, and location, and then you get this strategic map of your energy. And with this, we tell you how to manage your energy really well and also how to make decisions that are correct, specifically for you and your energy. And the cool thing about human design that makes it like different than a lot of different systems that you'll come across, even astrology, but even like personality tests and things where you input information and answer questions. Human design measures both conscious and unconscious. So we have this conscious natal chart that is exactly the same as your astrological chart. It's your personality, it's who you think you are. But we have this other side that actually happens. The date happens while you're still in utero. And it's meant to represent like your ancestry, your DNA, these patterns that you came in with, like your physical body. There's two different types of energy in every single person. And so human design gives you validation and permission to be what you always knew that you were. And it also tells you how other people see you and the things that you just kind of had to bring with you to learn the lessons that you're meant to learn for this lifetime. So, for example, when I'm doing a reading for someone, I'm going to explain to them their type, right? This is the shape and expression of your aura. That's your type in human design. It's not necessarily a personality, it's like really how it feels to be in your body and the very difficult things that you run into and how to manage that better with having this type of aura that you have, right? Like the leaks and the gaps in your energy, but also the things that are gifts and strengths for your specific energy type. Also, inside of your chart, it's going to tell you we have 9 energy centers. One of those energy centers is going to be your MVP. It's going to be like the one that you need to check in with before you make any decision. And everybody's got a different MVP out of all 9. So looking at your chart, I can just immediately go, oh, your MVP is your emotional center, right? Like that's the number one place you need to check before you make any big decision because your emotional authority, you have all this motorized energy for depth and thoroughness. Don't say yes to anything where you have to show up and make yourself smaller, right? Don't say yes to anything where you feel rushed because your depth and thoroughness is actually the motorized energy that you can't help but bring to any interaction. So before you make a decision, make sure that decision allows you to show up like as your full self and take your time and take up space and take the time that it takes. So those are the two major things that everyone talks about in human design: strategy and authority. So your strategy goes with your type. It tells you how to manage your auric shape and energy. And then your authority tells you within your aura, what's that like number one tool that you use for making decisions, your MVP. All of the players play, okay? All of the players play on the team. The same thing you hear in astrology where they're like, you don't have any empty houses, right? You don't have empty energy centers, you get to use all of this energy. There are energy centers that are consistent and there are energy centers that are inconsistent. And everybody gets in trouble when they try to make the inconsistent consistent because they compare themselves to others. And so when you look at the centers in your chart that are white, I have 7 out of 9 white, and you go, oh, I don't have any energy. Something's wrong with me. I'm so inconsistent. I wish I had more depth. I wish I had more motivation. I wish I had more excitement for life. I wish I had more direction. I wish I had more clarity. I wish I had more answers. Something's wrong with me. You get pulled into this black hole, this bottomless pit of what we call it not self in human design, instead of looking at what you do have consistent and colored in. So in my chart, I have these 2 centers. Like I can put a lot of energy and attention in that direction and feel consistent and feel good about myself and feel like, yeah, this is how I was meant to be and who I was meant to be. And it's okay. It's supposed to be that way and it's fine. And now I have words to explain to people like, hey, my energy works in bursts. I will get everything done in like a 24 to 48 hour period, and then I'll need to rest. I'm not like a always on type of gal. I have peaks and valleys of energy, and that's my one motor, my root center. I could go on and on. Okay. I could read any chart for like 10 consecutive hours. That's just talking about the energy centers. Now, when we get into channels, we get into gates, we get into conscious and unconscious, we get into hanging gates, we get into like harmonics and electromagnetics, and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. The rabbit hole never ends. Yeah, actually, let me talk about the channel of exploration on that note. But hopefully that answers your question, Jessica. Thank you for asking a question and getting me all fired up. It's like you've transformed physically. You've been looking so beautiful lately, more than, oh my God. Thank you. Make my day. It's true though. It's true. When you are low on energy and when you are hard on yourself and when your emotional landscape and your nervous system is like chaotic, it shows. It shows on your body. First of all, with cortisol, like you just literally get puffy. But second of all, like your physical health, like you get dull, your skin gets dull, your body gets dull. And then just confidence, right? Like people glow. When you line up with your aura and the way that it's supposed to be, you literally glow. And nobody can tell me otherwise because I can see it. And it's not lighting and it's not makeup. Like I can literally see when someone has a life force glow and when they don't. It's obvious to me. And when they don't, I'm like, I can look into the chart and go, oh, in human design, we have primary health system. I can tell you how to manage your physical health via your diet and your environment, right? And it's consistent, it's reliable. That's how it's supposed to be. And if you're doing the opposite, you're going to see that your body doesn't respond to it well and that you get confused and then you try all different kinds of crazy stuff and then you get more like sad and down on yourself. So, but thank you. Thank you. That made my day. Time, my MVP is the solar plexus. So hopefully you liked my explanation on that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did change here's the same thing I'm talking about, right? Like go back to how you naturally are. I went back to my natural hair color. This is it. This is the color I was born with. I mean, I had to color it to get there because it was very, very bleached. But he just based it off of the color of my roots. Going back to my roots, going back to my origins. But I'm not from Mexico. When I'm going to Mexico, it's in my soul contract or something. I don't know. It's in my past lives. Actually, somebody like looked at me and like said that, like stranger. They were like, "You have a past life in Mexico." I'm like, this was not part of the conversation. It was totally off topic. Like it was before I even knew that I wanted to move there. For the first time in my life, I'm pursuing a career that's not in the spiritual field. Sometimes I wonder what changed or what was activated in me. I know I can't imagine going going back to like corporate world. Okay, so the channel of exploration. I'm so sorry. I got excited. I got sidetracked. The channel of exploration connects the G center to the spleen. Okay. Always go biggest theme to smallest theme when you're trying to understand gates and channels. And so when you look at a channel, you go, I don't know what the hell that is or what it means. At the very least, you can go, okay, well, it does have something to do with direction, identity, purpose, self-love, and intuition, instinct, okay? Instinctive and intuitive awareness. So when we put these two together, this channel of exploration, we're exploring the types of behaviors that we need to or want to have so that we can get more in touch with our own intuition. That's what we're exploring. We're exploring paths of self-acceptance and self-love. In addition to oh shoot, I'm looking at the wrong one. I just made that up. Skip that. Let me start over. Because it was 1034, right? Y'all can tell my passion in human design is the energy centers more than the channels. I looked at it like 5 minutes ago and then I decided to come back to it. Yeah, it's 1034. I got the 10 part right. It's connecting the G center with the sacral. Let me come back to that. What's your take on a projector with a sun gate in our undefined sacral in 29? Oh, you got to learn about boundaries, what to say yes to and what to say no to, especially what invitations to accept or not. My therapist says I'm glowing. Was released from a job recently and made me, see, that makes sense. I think if ChatGPT could see me, ChatGPT would be like, ChatGPT is my therapy. And it would say, you're glowing. I'm learning a lot of different modalities. This one is up there on that list. It's very in depth. Yeah, human design takes a minute to like even just get your bearings and understand what the hell is going on. That's why I created my own course, because like a lot of people give you information out of context and it's exciting and you get like, energized and I want to know everything about that one thing. But it doesn't make sense unless you understand the bigger structures. That's why I layer things when I talk about them. I've been watching your TikTok for a year now. I think it's finally time to work with you. Let's do it. Let's work together. Let's do it. Let's do the magical things. But thank you for watching. What's the profile of 46? Oh, 46. I'm like, what? Yeah, 4/6, the 4/6. Hi, Aaliyah. It's very intriguing. The rabbit hole for human design goes very deep. The significance for having, because I understand as a projector, you have an undefined sacral, right? So your 29 is hanging there and it's pulling in people who want to like turn on your sacral and get you really excited about things and like trigger all of that for you. And because your sacral being undefined is your black hole, your bottomless pit, that's why I'm saying you have to be so careful about what you say yes to, right? The invitations that you get and that what you say yes to, because it's going to like light up your sacral center. And it's hard for you with an undefined sacral natally to know when enough is enough. So that's what I mean by good boundaries, not like just like vague, like, oh, have boundaries. You're a projector. Okay. I'm trying to read the comments on YouTube. It's like behind my tripod. What are your thoughts on projectors having kids? I know Ross used to say that ideally projectors shouldn't have kids. Thoughts? Okay, so I need to talk about channel of exploration, 4/6, and projector parenting. I'm a projector with two. Well, I have a stepdaughter and two biological sons. And I love it. I think it completely changed my life. And I think it was an important part of my path. And I think that Ra didn't really understand astrology. I mean, he didn't understand any of the systems that he brought together. It was channeled. It was a voice that just dropped in, right? He was the vessel to bring human design in. But because he didn't have this deep understanding of astrology, like he was only seeing energy and energetic patterns from one angle. And so when you look at my human design, you're like, ah, you're a projector, don't be a parent. Uh, okay, you could go down that path, but because of my astrology, I have a fifth house stellium. Fifth house is the house of children. My Jupiter is in my fourth. Okay, like I was always meant to have family, right? And to be a good mom and to be a parent. And it was also a big, big theme of my own like Saturn return. My nose is itching. I have Saturn up in there too, in my Capricorn, right? So it's like for me, having children and being able to show up as a parent and being able to figure out the systems that I needed to provide for my kids in the way that I needed to provide for them, that was like a huge, huge life lesson for me. Totally changed my entire path, but it was also meant to be. It was, and people reflect to me. I mean, like anybody that knows that I'm a parent reflects to me. Oh my God, you're such a good parent. Oh my God, you're such a good mom. Oh, I wish you were my mom. And the problem that projectors run into when they're parenting is, first of all, thinking that it's their job to teach, to guide, to tell their kids what to do. I've never believed that. I've never thought that. And I have never thought my purpose in life is to wait for invitations to guide my children. I just let them be. I just let them exist, right? I let them pursue their own interests, their own path. I don't think that I know better than they do. I get my invitations from somewhere else entirely. That's one, okay? Like this, the me side of it. The other thing is, I know that I don't have a ton of energy to like chase kids around. And thus, same thing, I never did. But he grew up in a different time period, right? He grew up in a more authoritarian time period where there were certain expectations of parents, especially mothers, that I just never ever adhered to. I just did not care about that, right? So like I would let my kids take risks. I would ask them, "Do you feel safe?" I wouldn't tell them what to do. I wouldn't be very like domineering with them. And like I've always done my best to remind them that they need to contribute to the house that they live in. They're not helping me out. They're not doing me a favor. I'm not teaching them a lesson by making them do chores. I am literally saying, like, we all live here and we all have to contribute to this house that we live in. But if you're a projector and you are doing everything for everyone, yeah, you're going to get so burnt out. So, so burnt out. Okay. I never see any content on gates in the sacral for us. I think it gets really deep. Yeah, anywhere that you have a hanging gate in an undefined center, you're pulling that energy toward you so that you can like play with it, so you can practice it, so you can learn about it, right? But because you don't have the entire energy center defined natally, you have to not be attached to that energy. And I think that's where a lot of projectors get in trouble, right? So, like my sacral gates, I have gate 5, conscious and unconscious, the gate of routines and rituals. And so, for me to actually like show up consistently with daily routines and rituals and things along those lines, I don't have the energy to back that up. But I can learn a lot by pairing with other people, by observing other people's rituals, right? By jumping on board with what someone else is doing rather than trying to create and sustain my own stuff. I'm all over the place. Hi, Angie. Yeah, it has been a while. Okay, channel of exploration. Oh my God. Gate 10 is in the G center and gate 34 is in the sacral. Speaking of, okay. So when you have the channel of exploration, you have gate 34 active and gate 10 active, and then your sacral is turned on and your G center is turned on. Exploring empowerment, exploration of self empowerment, exploration of what I respond to and the directions that that takes me. Chiron in gate 5. Oh gosh. Hi, Riley. I was watching a video about Chiron. I was watching a video about Chiron and Taurus in the 9th house, and I was like, oh, the FYP. Do you know my birth time now, TikTok? What are you doing? Yeah, Chiron will hurt your feelings. Okay, 4-6. 4-6. Let's talk about profiles. I love talking about profiles. I think the number one thing I love talking about in human design is energy centers. Like I'll die on that hill. Everything lives in the energy centers. People like to go really deep into gates and channels and all that stuff, but everything lives in the energy centers. Like every single gate is in an energy center. The end. And then after that, profiles. Profiles are so fun, okay? Because we have these 6 different lines, these 6 different potentials that we extrapolate out into 12 profile types, 12 potential profiles. Not every mathematical equation is there because of the structure of the Rave mandala, which, I can tell you about in a whole other life. But profile numbers, okay? The first number in your profile is always going to be your conscious experience. Everything on your personality side of your chart is your conscious experience. If you're using my website to pull up your chart, which you can do for free anytime, and there's video explanations, but if you're pulling up your website, your chart on my website, it's the pink one. That's conscious. That's what I mean by conscious. It's your personality. It's who you think you are, right? You hear it and you go, yeah, that's me. I resonate with that. And then there's an unconscious side. We call it the design side. If you're looking at my website, it's the like teal colored one, the blue-green thing. Can't even call it. I don't even know what color it is. Anyway, it's the other side. And so when we look at profiles, we look at this costume that you wear both consciously and unconsciously. And I love to describe it that way because then people go, oh, it doesn't mean it's like a supposed to be. This is how I have to show up. No, you already are that. You can't help that. Here's how do you create balance between your conscious and unconscious wiring. So when you're a 4-6, your conscious side, your personality side goes, I need people. I need relationships. My people are so important to me. I need my people to check on me. I need to check on my people. That's my foundation in life. That's what makes me feel safe. That's what makes me feel like comfy. Okay. I need people. Why don't my people love me back? Right. I'm so obsessed with my people. Why aren't they obsessed with me? Okay. Always seeking out that foundation to externalize one's foundation in another person. And then you have your 6th line on the unconscious side. And the 6th line is like the last one. So we go 1 to 6. 6th line is our role model, the one that's been through all the shit, right? And now can be wise. Now live to tell you about all the stuff that they've lived through. And when I say you've been through all the shit, it's because when you are a 6th line, you have to earn that one. You have to earn the right to be the role model. So the first 50 years of your life, you experience as if you are a 3rd line. And our 3rd line is the line in human design of trial and error, try and fail, learn the hard way, fuck around and find out. Like that's the 3rd line life. That's my whole life. Okay. I'm a 1-3. The point is, 3rd lines will fuck around and find out with just about anything, including relationships. And so when you're a 4-6, you want to externalize your foundation. You know that you need people, but then you also go, let me push you away and see if you'll come back. Let me break up with you to see if you really like me, right? It's a making and breaking bonds as part of that trial and error process. And so you have this mentality of like, I need relationships, but then you have this physical experience of pushing people away. You get so confused. Like by the time somebody books a reading with me as a 4-6, they're so traumatized. They're so traumatized by life and relationships that they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. Help me. And so I explain it to them in this way. And I'm telling them like, you need to become a role model. You need to step into that wisdom around relationships and be able to understand that these experiences that have happened for a reason. You have to earn that role model archetype, especially being able to show up as a role model in relationships and in connection. And, you didn't sign up for an easy one in this lifetime. Sorry, not sorry. Me neither. Here we are. Oh, hi, Houdini. I saw you on my IG. Chiron and Taurus in the 4th. Oh, I can't imagine having Chiron in the 4th. I have so much in the 4th and 5th that I would hate to have Chiron there. Okay. What about a hanging gate and an undefined solar plexus? I'm a projector with hanging gates in 49, 55, and 30. Dang. In undefined solar plexus, and I'm super sensitive. So that must mean that you have an undefined root center. So you're really pulling in these experiences of like, let me see how much stress I can handle. Let me see how emotional I can make pressure make me. Satya, what are you doing out there? Yes, self-projected projector. Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I knew if all 3 of those are hanging, then I guess the root could be defined from the other side, but that's gotta be that I would actually look more at the not self in that root center than the emotional center. Like that one seems more interesting to me in the context of your chart and the way that it's set up because at least like from the emotional side, like you kind of understand what you're looking for because you have all of those gates, right? Just lined up, like really curious about what the root does. And then the root's like, "Pfft, I'm not talking to you. Only G and throat defined. Oh, okay. It's interesting to be a 6-2 because I want to earn it, and being natural at things confuses me. Yeah, because only other people see that. Only other people can reflect that back to you. And I see that in your comments, Riley, like that people are like, I feel so seen, and you're just such a natural at like talking about these things. You really do talk about things like very conversationally, I guess is the best way to say that. Like as if I was sitting in your living room. But that third line mentality is like, I didn't learn it unless I failed first. I didn't learn it unless I tripped and fell, like there's I don't know anything unless I can tell you how hard it was. Sorry. Let's have a human design roast. I should schedule that. I should schedule that as a live. What do you guys think? I probably could do it depending on my energy and my attitude at the time and also the transits. I could do a human designer roast. Let's schedule that. It's painfully true. That's one of my favorite phrases. Painfully accurate. Schedule it. Okay, you're coming? Okay. Who's coming to my roast party? I got like 4 of y'all watching this. Thank you for the likes. You're gonna put me out on the FYP and more people will come in. Human design roast. Or should I make it like an event, like a sign up event? Should I make it just a live? Everybody drops in. I feel like a live is better. It's so much more interactive. Like people can comment, people can laugh, they can send gifts and all that. I don't even know how to monetize that shit, by the way. Like I'm not I'm not here living for gifts on TikTok. Oh my God, that's a great idea. Who came up with it? Riley's coming. I can market the shit out of that. That's my sense of humor. Aquarius moon, Riley. Dark stuff. Yeah, lives are great. Okay. I'll write that down because you'll know I immediately will forget. HD live roast. Yeah, maybe I can transition that into like roast readings. Let me make fun of you. I've been practicing making fun of people on my personal Instagram. Part of my whole social media experiment, okay? Third lines and sixth lines are natural experimenters. Test it out, poke at it, see what works and what doesn't. And I've been experimenting, making fun of people on my personal IG as part of my learning about social media, learning more about it. It's pretty fun. I get a lot of engagement over there. Do you have any advice for the channel? Oh, the channel of mating. Lock your doors. No relationship. Stay away from them. Did you want the roast advice or the real advice? Ursula, 6'3". Yeah, see, that's a rare one. Having just double down on the third lines. It's a rough one. I'm Aquarius, rising, sun, Mercury. Oh my gosh. Very Aquarius. Very Aquarius. I say I'm very Aquarius, but I only have the 2. Yeah, 59.6, the channel of mating, like these people, the relationships just fall in their lap. It just gets so deep too fast, way too deep, way too fast. People want to like fall in love with you. They want to tell you their whole life story, right? They want to like vampire all your energy. I've seen it happen so many times. And every time I say it, somebody just comes out of nowhere and they're like, yeah, I've been married 8 times. Not you, like other people, they'll just be listening to the live, like, lurking in the background. And they'll just pop in and be like, oh, yeah, that's me. That's me. Like, oh my gosh, lock your doors. Say no. But this goes right into that solar plexus authority that you have, that emotional authority. You're the one. You're the one who has to set the pace. You're the one who has to go, friends first. Slow it down. Nope, you're going too fast. I don't do fast here. I'm a lot. I'm a lot. You think you can handle this? You can't. You think you're really excited. You think you're really enthusiastic about this. You don't know yet. This is a lot. It's going to be a lot. Pace. You have to set the pace. If you have the channel of mating, you have to take accountability, responsibility, and go, I don't trust those people out there. I set the pace. I tell you to take it slow. I tell you to take your time. Please take my advice. I have a hanging 6 as well, Houdini, and I attract a big fat hanging 59, and I get myself in so much trouble. I get in so much trouble because oftentimes I attract people. I have a hanging 6 and they have a hanging 59, and neither of us have definition. And so now neither of us know how to handle this emotional authority that shows up in connection. Now I know. Now I know. Take your time. Take the time that it takes. Friends first. Set the pace. Don't rush into anything. Sleep on it. Come back in 24 hours. No spontaneous decisions allowed. But when I meet people, like especially fellow projectors where I'm hanging 6 and they're hanging 59, like neither of us know how to act. So I'll take responsibility. It feels like trouble. I love it though. Like when someone can respect your depth, it's great. But oftentimes we have to teach people how to treat us. We have to put into words the experience that they have when they come into our energy because they don't know how to articulate that. Yeah. Yeah. I love a hanging 59, but I too much too fast, get in trouble. that's what I'll tell you about that. Connection charts are super fun in human design too. If you haven't looked at connection charts, that's a super fun rabbit hole, but you do have to have a foundational understanding of like the natal chart by itself, because connection charts is just going to take you down a new rabbit hole all around channels mostly. But you can pull a connection chart for free on my website. It's not going to give you the video explanations because ain't nobody got time for that. But you can put in your chart. You can click the little button right above that says relationship chart. And then you can look at the dynamic between you and another person and see what energy centers show up, what channels show up. It's my super easy like hack, especially in relationships, maybe because communication is super important to me, but I would think communication is important to most. My hack is to see if there is an electromagnetic. So that means one person has one half of the channel and the other person has the other half of the channel, an electromagnetic going into the throat. And you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 potentials. You have 11 potential channels that could define the throat in the relationship. And that's whether or not you individually have throat definition. But when you come together, do you have an electromagnetic channel that defines the throat? If so, that relationship will have good communication. If you have an electromagnetic that defines the sacral, that relationship will have good something else. You can look at all of these different potentials through the lens of human design. Another course idea. How to have good something else with your electromagnetics. Hanging 59, love. I look at, oh yeah, connection charts are so fun. What's the incarnation cross about? What's it about? Oh, that's a good question. I'm going all over the place trying to see the comments behind my tripod. Why do I do this? I can just move this. Why do I move my body when I can just move my window on my monitor? Manifester, emotional authority, 4-6. Horse sports? Did you miss my rant on the 4-6? Did you miss my 4-6 roast? If you weren't lurking during that time, you're gonna need to go back and watch the recording because it's really funny. I'll traumatize you, but in the best way. Okay, what is a incarnation cross in human design? Great question. Glad you asked. So we have all these gates. We have 26% potential gates that you can have. So you can have up to 26 gate activations. Many people have fewer because they'll have that same gate in multiple places. Either way, there are 4 gates. No trauma. Okay, don't go watch the replay. There are 4 gates that are like the most impactful because they are like bigger transits, more important transits in your chart, right? We have inner planets, we have outer planets, but the incarnation cross is made up of the sun and earth on your personality side and the sun and earth on your design side. And I'm doing that because it literally, when you look at it on a wheel, it makes a cross over your chart. That's incarnation cross, the cross you are born on. That's what it means. And so these 4 gates, you put together these 4 different themes and you put them together in importance, right? So the most important one is going to be your personality sun, and then the other 3 all play a role. So your incarnation cross tells us about the purpose that you earn in your lifetime by showing up and shining a light, right, on your personality, shining a light on your strengths, and also having awareness of your unconscious patterns as well. So it gives you this kind of like path. I find it to be kind of similar to the nodal placements in astrology, but still different because it takes these 4 different themes. And it also, in my experience, is not like predestined at all. Like you really, it's work for you to do to really step into your highest self, your best self, your most aligned self. The work that you do is honoring your strategy and authority according to human design. But yeah, my incarnation cross is the cross of the Sphinx. And so when someone crosses my path, they immediately have awareness of where they feel lost and where they could use some direction. So that's the impact that my incarnation cross has on others when I cross their path or they cross my path. 38, 39, 48, 21. That's not tension, is it? What's the name of the cross? I don't have them all memorized. There's 194 variations of incarnation crosses, but I do have a really good reference tool that I use, and I share all of my reference tools in my course, which is called the Human Design Starter Kit, but I might be renaming it because it's more than a starter kit. It's very thorough. This is the Incarnation Cross book that I use. Oh, I was right. Well, I know that gates 38 and 39 are in tension because we have the gate of the fighter and the gate of provocation, right? Like there's going to be some tension. And you having that on the personality side, it's like always asking the question, like, what's the point? Why are we doing this? What are we doing this for? Is this even worth it? And I've done so much that I'm going to make you understand, right? I'm going to pull you outside of your own perceived limits. I'm going to make you go deeper. I'm going to make you experience the tension that I've been living with my whole life. No offense. How long have I been live, you guys? TikTok usually like tells me like it's been 60 minutes. You might need to drink some water. Where is everyone? I forget that people like work like 9-to-5 jobs and that have like normal schedules. You guys don't forget, tap the screen, comment, share, do the engagement things. Thank you. I see it. Thank you. I can see it on my side. Okay. I can see when you're doing it. I can see when you're not doing it. She sees you when you're sleeping. Oh, let me tell you the nice version. She wrote this book. She's so great. She's on TikTok, by the way, Brynja. But she's under her business is called Ceremoniance. But she has this amazing, beautiful book on all the incarnation crosses. It's my favorite reference book. I don't like the one that Ra wrote. I don't like most things that Ra wrote because they're transcribed. He didn't actually sit down and write. He didn't organize his thoughts before he started talking. I don't like that. Virgo rising. Okay, overall cross high for attention. A spiritual warrior who faces the greatest challenges with fierce purposefulness. The fighting spirit, resourcefulness, and playful wisdom are used to maneuver through difficulties and enforce betterment. People pass through my life when they need to awaken a pressure to be better. I went live a few times and hate when there's people in the room and nobody comments. I know, right? It's like, it's already uncomfortable, like sitting here in front of all these devices and just like talking out loud, but not like having any audio coming in for me. And like, so I'm reading the comments, right? I'm attached. I'm like, tell me everything. It's already awkward. And then if you're live and you're just kind of like, nobody's saying anything and I'm not saying anything, like, what are we doing? But I know I'm quite sure that it's my timing today as well. It's not an optimal time to be live. I'm a projector and I know, that's what I say. Your engagement feels like recognition and invitation for me. I have the left angle cross of distraction. I don't hear that one very often. I can talk about the differences between left angle and right angle if you want, but it's all in your profile numbers. Your profile numbers also live in there in your incarnation cross. Oh, saving my DNA in this book. My hair is like a bookmark. Okay. Cross of distraction. A balance between freeing oneself while maintaining boundaries. Diversion from rigidity, allowing purpose to emerge. Not so afraid of death that it constricts life, but not so fearless that risk loses meaning. In this balance, one finds a purposeful and enriched life. Because you have the other gate, 28. People pass through my life when they need to unfocus to find meaning and enrichment. I'm not reading from that book anymore. Don't start commenting. Call your incarnation crosses. I have to get a job being an audiobook reader. That would be interesting. I have been doing voiceovers, and that's fun. On my current series, I'm leaving the country in X number of days. I got to figure out what I'm going to film for today. Behind. I do like doing voiceovers. I haven't seen you on my FYP for. I know. You know why? Life. First, I was getting my kids ready to like move. Because they left for Portugal a couple weeks ago. And now I'm getting myself ready to move because I'm leaving for Mexico in 18 days. And there just isn't a lot of spare time. My hair looks great. Thank you. I was a little bit nervous about it, but I really honestly was looking forward to it. I'm traveling. And yeah, I just don't want to keep up with it. I can trim my own bangs and my hair is this color, so it's just going to grow out that way. I did it last time I was traveling too. If you've been following for a while, like a good while, I had hot pink hair and I gave up. I went just to blonde because it was bleached under the hot pink. I went back to blonde when I left for Europe because I didn't want to carry around my hot pink shampoo because I didn't want to just spill all over my stuff. And with my blonde hair, I have to have like silver shampoo to keep it like from getting like brassy and yellow. It's just I have really fair skin and everything washes me out. So I have to be very careful with color theory. Anyway, I'm traveling again and I didn't want to deal with carrying hair stuff with me. So I just went back to my natural color this time. I'm moving to Maui in 3 weeks. Nice. I've been invited to Hawaii. And I don't exactly know where I'm gonna land yet. I just know that it's that intuitive nudge that we get. I just know I have to go to Mexico City. I don't know why. I just have to go. And I've learned over the years to, like, not look for some very specific and very clear outcome when you have this intuitive nudge to do something, because I believe that you can pick up on the vibration and the frequency of a place, and, like, that changes how you show up in the world, right? So, like, when I was invited to go to Europe, I went. It was amazing. It was beautiful. Like, nothing happened. It didn't make me, like, famous or rich, or there wasn't some relationship waiting for me. Like, nothing, like, specifically happened other than I went and I had a really good time. But I knew I had to go, and I knew I wanted to go, and I loved going, and I don't regret going, and I came back, right? But there was a part of me at that time before I went, because I felt intuitively that I should go or that I needed to go, that was like, "Oh, what am I gonna get if I go?" Well, it's just I got a really good experience. And so, intuitively, I feel like Mexico City is like, that's where I feel like I'm being called and pulled. What am I gonna get? I don't know, maybe nothing. A trip to Mexico? A business class, flight? I got it at a really good deal. Um, huh. You also have the channel struggle. Yeah, nobody's ever told me I should do voiceover work, but I have been told I should be a hand model. That's Kool-Aid on my finger. Yes, I'm Splenic Authority. You picked up on it. Good job. You saw it. It's right here, though. What was I gonna I had it. Oh, there it is. There's TikTok. It's been 60 minutes. Solve this puzzle. Yeah, that's Splenic Authority. Nice hands. I broke a nail packing. I don't remember what I did. Like, I ran my finger into something and it broke, like, really low. And I can't handle my nails being different lengths. I can't mentally handle that. I'm all about, like, visual minimalism. So I had to cut all my nails off, but they were long before. Doesn't matter. I haven't been to Mexico City before. Um, and that's another reason that I'd like to go, because I do love Mexico, and I've mostly been to beaches. I've also been to Jalisco, so Guadalajara, Zapopan, Tequila. I've been all along the West Coast and parts of the East Coast, mostly the Cancun area. But I'm a city girl. I'm not a beach person. I'm caves environment. I honestly don't love I love going to the beach for a short time, for, like, a vacation. I would not love to live there. I don't like wind. I don't like the wind in my hair or my face or my eyes. And beaches get windy. I mean, I'm sure there are beaches that, like, aren't, but it's not my vibe. It's not where I wanna live. Anyways, the point is, I wanted to go to Mexico City because I like big cities. I live kind of in a big city now, Dallas. Mexico's way bigger, like 3, 4 times the size of DFW, but I wanna go check it out. I can't make a decision unless I physically put my body in that place. My strongest sense is feeling in human design. So, no, I haven't been before. I'm gonna go for a month. And my friend is coming with me. She wanted to come. I didn't, like, make her anything. Her lease ended. We both live here. I intentionally lived near her, here in DFW in Texas, because she's like my kid's auntie. We've been friends for a long time, and she's been part of my kids' lives their whole life. So I intentionally lived near her because she's my friend, but also my number one babysitter as a single mom. And her lease ended last month, and so she moved in with me. I helped her. I helped her move a little bit, not a lot. I feel bad about that. I helped her move and moved her in with me, and then we're going to go to Mexico together. And I'm glad that I'm not going solo because I'm a bit of a hermit. I would just go and be there and like not leave my Airbnb. That's my chart behind me. Yeah, it's the whole thing. Mostly undefined. Single channel being. Going all in. I'm going all in on that channel of struggle. That's what I decided for this life. Has it been hard? And I'm a 1-3, okay? I'm a third line. And I got the channel of struggle. And I got the channel of struggle with everything else undefined. So much focus on struggle. Has it been hard? I have a girl chasing me down to do like a documentary on my life story. Okay. Has it been hard? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it has. I don't know how to answer that other ways. I could tell you, I could give you examples, but yeah, it's surprisingly hard. And I have, for my astrology nerds, I have Uranus in the 4th house opposing my North Node. So every time I think I'm on the right path, every time I think everything's okay and I'm doing something right, everything gets disrupted. Where I live in Texas is basically the same line as Mexico City. So I don't imagine that it's wildly different in my astrocartography because I'm already in this general area. Is it lateral? Is it latitude or longitude? You tell me if you know astrocartography. But the vertical line, it kind of lines up. I'm just kind of directly north of Mexico City. So I can't imagine that that's hugely different. When I have looked into my astrocartography, they told me to go to Hawaii or Australia. Channel of struggle. I'm like, you have to pick the farthest, hardest place to get to in the world, huh? That's what we're gonna do. That's where all my luck is. That's where all my money is. That's where all my love is. The literal most difficult place for me to get to in the whole world. Okay, sure. Like the longest flight I could go on. They curve, but like it's far, but it's not that far. It's close enough to where I mean I can look at my chart right now and show you, but it's close enough to where they kind of are the same thing. But anyway, nothing of significance. Everything of significance in my astrocartography is in Hawaii and Australia. My friend that's going to Mexico City with me, her whole astrocartography chart like culminates in Iceland. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life. But yeah, I did like a very short reading with Dom and Michelle. I'm trying to remember. Cosmic Vibrations, is that what their channel's called? And that's what they said, which is what I can see when I pull up my own chart. I tried looking at my progressed astrocartography chart, and it still puts me right here where I am. I have to get a shock, and my life has been a lot of shocking events. Yeah, I can imagine. See, it's like shit's hard, and I'm honestly never super surprised about it. You know what I mean? I'm never like thrust back into innocence. when something's difficult. I'm like, it's like always just this drawn out difficulty, if that makes sense. You know, it's a melancholic individual circuitry that just freaking draws things out, really makes you earn it. Sadly enough. Okay, so we got on the schedule. What is it? Human design roast live. Let me roast all of the types on a live. I'm much better live. When I try to sit down and like think of copy and write things out or make videos, it doesn't come across the same way. Yeah. Any individual circuitry in human design is going to be prone to melancholy. So you're going to get into our depressive states and get stuck there for a minute and then come back out, everything's fine. And then, depending on also what circuit it is and what it's attached to, but with the root, especially like that on off pulse for me, when I'm off, I'm like really like mentally off. Melancholy. But the channel of struggle is individual circuitry. So is the channel of emoting on the opposite side. That 360 channel coming out of the root and basically up the entire center of the body graph. All of those are individual circuits. Initiation. Is that individual? It's part of individual centering, I think. Openness. Yeah, you see the sadness in these people. You do. Yeah, I've been invited to Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii. Like I've been invited, but I'm like, what a long flight. Like invite me to Chicago. Okay, it's 2 hours. Hawaii is different. I have the same channel, 1057. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm somebody's ex-wife. I saw the sadness in me and moved on. Just kidding. That's not what happened, but funny joke. Add it to my list for roasting. Anybody with an individual circuitry. All right, guys, I'm out. I'm going to do something else. I don't know what yet. Something.